Hello everybody, this is Kay and welcome to my channel Junking with Gigi. I have a completed journal here which I made quite some time ago, and I did one flip through video on it but at that time I didn't have an Etsy shop, and I feel like I needed to redo my flip through video because I'm getting ready to post this on my Etsy shop for sale. And I also didn't have as many subscribers at that point, so I just wanted to kind of redo that. But this journal is kind of my take on an Art Nouveau style journal. I just have a piece of coffee dyed muslin as a closure, and you can just take this off and put it to the side so that it doesn't get in the way. But I took a book cover that I had taken the book block out of to make the cover, and I had started with some gold stenciling in the background. You can see that on the front and the spine and the back. And then I used an image that I had gotten from the Digital Collage Club. But I took that and kind of just did the torn edge and inked. I put a label on that with the word lovely. Some flower appliques here, a doily in the background that was also coffee dyed, and then just kind of layered up a little bit of lace in the background. And on the spine I had some wording that I needed to cover up, and that's why I have these pieces on the spine, and continuing on to the back there too, there was some kind of debossed engraving or something from the book that this was before I repurposed it. So that's the cover. This was the original red of the cover. I liked that color, that kind of deep, kind of brick red almost. I thought that would go well with the theme of this journal. So inside the front cover I have a side pocket here that I made out of some mixed media watercolor paper that I did, covered by some black edge lacing. I've got some more of my gold rickrack there. This is my little note that I like to put in all my journals that I sell or give away. And this has 2 signatures. They were pretty bulky signatures, that's why I decided on just 2. I only have about 1.5 inches wide spine here, so I felt that was all I could really get in here without it becoming a real gator mouth. So that's that. Now these pages that I have in the front of the signature, this is one of those double pocket pages, and I made a video on making these as well. But it's from a book that an Art Nouveau stained glass window book that I picked up at a thrift store, and I just took out the whole page. I'll flip to the back real quick and show you that I made kind of a double pocket page, and I did a video on that. I'll link that below. Out of those pages, they were just beautiful stained glass image pages. I just tucked a journaling paper into that pocket. I've got coffee dyed paper. I have kind of a triple pocket, torn pocket element on this page with some pieces in it. This is also from that same booklet that I got at the thrift store. It was part of the cover though, that's why it's kind of heavier, like cardstock. I just put some paper on the backs to make a good little journaling card, and a paper ruffle at the top. And this was a photo envelope that I had gotten from the store that I had some photos printed in, so I used some pieces of scrap just to cover up some writing and just make that a little bit more interesting than just the plain brown. Here I have an envelope pocket made out of a junk mail envelope that I coffee dyed, and I have a journaling card here that I had done like a collage masterboard on, and a die cut there with some scrapbook paper and some graph paper on the back for journaling spots. And I also have a little dangle made out of lace with a bead, and a little laminated piece that I have right there on a bulb pin, and that just tucks down into that kind of slant pocket there. On the back, I just added one of my little clusters. Here I have one of these little glassine bags I stenciled on, and I put a little journaling piece inside with the image of a typewriter, and I also made a little pocket on the front of that bag. This is just some kind of glittery green cardstock that I had in my stash. A book page, I kind of bordered it with some more of that gold rickrack, and it's just kind of a flip out book page element for adding whatever you want to add to it. I've got some peach colored paper here. This was another piece of that Masterboard, and I just made kind of a tuck spot out of that with some writing pieces. Coffee dyed paper. This was a little stencil I made with some of my gel pens, and just cut that out and put it on that page. I've got some colored vellum there. This is kind of an envelope. These aren't real envelopes, they're just made to look like envelopes. It's a various tuck spots and pockets, and I just have different journaling cards and tickets and tags tucked into those. This is a piece of music manuscript paper. The other half of that vellum, coffee dyed paper. Down here I kind of did a little collage of a die cut and some lace and another one of those gel pen stencil pieces I did. This is the other half of that book page where it was just a flip out on the other half, but I made a pocket out of this half with some lace on it. Another journaling card. I made a large Masterboard and just kind of cut it up into some different size pieces for this journal. Here's the other half of that glassine bag with a few more pieces tucked in. On the front here, I just added one of my little clusters. I'll go back and tuck all that back in later. Here I have a little pocket tuck, stenciled gel pen images, a little piece of a doily, just some scrapbook paper in the background, another journaling card from my Masterboard. And on this one, I made a belly band out of this lovely, it's kind of a green velvet. I don't know if you can tell that. It's really dark green velvet ribbon in the background. And I just tucked in a little piece of graph writing paper with an image of a lovely lady. Another tuck spot from one of my previously made clusters with a little bit of a die cut edging there. Coffee dyed paper. And this is the back of this first signature. That's that pocket made out of that book page. A little journaling piece and some different journaling pieces here. This is actually a coloring page, and it has a Bible verse on it. And on the second signature, the first page is an envelope, one of those yellow mailing envelopes, and I kind of decoupaged some napkin on here. I did some stamping up in the corners. I did some kind of distressing in the background with some green acrylic paint just to take off, just to kind of subdue that bright yellowish orange. And did the green paint on this side too. I have another glassine bag here with some more stenciling on it and a few more pieces of ephemera. This is a little envelope I made out of a scrap of scrapbook paper that I've got a little music piece tucked into. And that is followed by another piece of that music manuscript, coffee dyed paper with a little bit of peach lace edging. This is another image from that digital kit. These two are, and I just stamped the word C on there. Kind of a large doily background. This is a little bit of some real subtle stenciling I did with some of my Distress Oxides. Coffee dyed paper. I have a vellum pocket here with some die cuts that I cut out of that green glitter. This is kind of a parakeet die cut. And a couple more pieces tucked into there for journaling on. On here, I made a couple of pockets with vellum that I had printed on, and I put it on top of some music paper. I don't know if you can see that kind of through the vellum. I think that's real pretty. I like doing that with some of my vellum pieces. And I have a couple journaling cards from that digital kit tucked in there. On this side, I have an envelope that I made a tuck spot out of with just a little bit of a journaling flip spot tucked into that. And this actually tucks under here. This little image just kind of holds that envelope closed with a couple more pieces tucked into that. This was the cover of a piece of sheet music that I thought was lovely, and I edged it with some more of that green velvet ribbon and lace. The color of this I thought went really good with this journal. I was kind of trying to stick to the reds and oranges and greens kind of vibe with this journal. And in the middle of this signature, I have another one of those double side pocket pages made out of that Art Nouveau stained glass book. Just journaling pages stuck in there, ledger paper. The other half of that sheet music cover. Coffee dyed paper edged with lace. Here's another vellum pocket, but I actually left it open so that the pieces that I have tucked in there would slide in between the vellum and the music. You can still see the music through the vellum when you pull the items out of the pocket. Just a little bookmark piece with that cover of that book. This is a little envelope that I did some stenciling on with some gold, or actually that's kind of a rose gold, and a piece of tea-dyed paper tucked into that. Actually put this on top so it can show. I got kind of crazy with my watercolors and my acrylics and my Distress Oxides one day with this envelope. Here I have another kind of tuck spot. I don't have anything in here yet. Some of the things I like to leave open for whoever ends up owning this journal to put their own items into, but this is kind of an over the edge tuck spot with 3 different places to tuck things. The other side of that subtle stenciled piece. There's one of my stenciled gel pen images. On this page I have an envelope, and I just glued down the sides of it so I could make a tuck spot out of this. This is the flap, and then the envelope part is on this side, and it flips open like that with a couple of little journaling spots. The music manuscript, the other half of that glassine bag. This is a tag I made, and I made a lace pocket here on it and tucked a few other things into that pocket. Here's the other half of that envelope. On the back here, I made a large vellum pocket, and what I did here was I took a book page, hold that up so you can kind of see, and I have this giant butterfly stamp. It came from one of Tim Holtz's stamp collections that I put on the book page, and then I covered it with this printed on vellum. And I just left it open on the side for a large side pocket. And then last but not least, on this back cover, I have one of these little pop-up lunch bag things. I don't know what, I guess it's just a pop-up compartment maybe, made out of the bottom of a lunch bag, and you just reach down in there, and I've got several little things in there, and there's room for plenty more. Little tag. This was just a dotted index card that I stenciled on. Another little journaling spot, another piece of that card from that booklet, and then I tucked in a little devotional on the back here, Fullness in Christ. So that all just drops down into that lunch bag, and it just kind of folds up. I decided to put this on this back cover because I had this metal element for opening it, and that actually adds quite a bit of bulk, but I had space between this last signature and the back cover, so that's why I put that in there. And that is all there is to this Art Nouveau themed journal. And then on this piece of muslin, I actually had to sew a couple of pieces together to make it long enough, and it does wrap around several times. I probably could have made it shorter, but I like having plenty of tie and wrap for my closure here, and it just closes up like that. So that is all for today's video. I will put my Etsy shop link below, and in case you're interested in going over there and looking at this. I also have some other items listed over there you might be interested in. I'm trying to get some of the things I've made up there to draw more attention to my Etsy shop. So please pop over there and look at this, and if you don't mind subscribing to my channel, if you're not already a subscriber, giving me a thumbs up, and feel free to share my channel with anybody you think might be interested. Have a great day, and God bless.